So happy to be with Matt Mason before your show in Shelbyville, Indiana. Although, when this comes out, the show's over by then.
Will be, but that's all right.
So, yeah. First off, appreciate you doing this.
Thanks for coming out here, man. I appreciate that.
We were going to do a podcast last year over Zoom, and then you got a little sick, and it worked out better because now here we are in person. So,
this is always better.
Absolutely. So, take me through a little bit. What was it like going through the ranks and coming out with the song E? And obviously, why did you want to name a song E?
It was, we wrote that song. I do a lot of writing and writing appointments. You know, you sit down like this with somebody, and we were at what's called a writing retreat, and you'll go to them for, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and that's all you do is you have a morning session, an evening session. And we were on the last day. It was a Sunday, and we didn't have anything else to write. We were wrote out, and this girl named Jennifer Zeffinetti come in, and she said, "I've got a song title," and she told us what it was, and we said, "That sounds like a good idea." So we sat down and wrote, and then we got together 2 weeks later, and we finished it. And I've never seen either one of them since. Carl Jacobs has since passed away, but I never wrote with him again, and I never wrote Jennifer again. That was a one-off song. Sometimes that happens.
Wow. And I mentioned, I kind of phrased it a little bit wrong, going through the ranks and all that, but obviously you were from Triton, Indiana, Triton Central. I graduated from New Palestine High School, so we share that in common, although I was born in Ohio. What was it like going from, Indiana, having fun, obviously, but then going to Nashville, where it was a different culture down there?
It is. It was. It's a lot different. And the music industry. I moved there in 2005, and it's 21 years ago, and it's changed a lot.
That's how old I am.
In 21 years, yeah, it's changed. And it's changed for the good for artists like myself who are independent. It's been a better change. Record labels don't control everything like they did for so many years. In Nashville, they had the money, they had the power, and they still do to a degree. But streaming services, Spotify and Pandora, and all the places that people listen to their music, has opened the door for independents like myself. We can put out music, and we can find our niche, and we can find the people that like our stuff, and tour on that, and make a good living.
I'm curious, is there, and maybe this was from a little while back, but is there still a lot of censorship in the music world, in your opinion, or would you say it's gotten better? Because it seems like cancel culture and all that, you go back, almost a decade ago at this point, it was pretty bad. I've interviewed John Rich on the show, and, obviously he had it with everything with Big and Rich. Some of his solo music he's had to do very independent.
A lot of guys get that way. There's still a machine that operates. And we still have society, and we still have culture, and a lot of people in today's world are very thin-skinned. The era that I grew up in, the time that I grew up in, our parents were different. They were raised different, and each generation is different. But they were tougher group of people, so they taught us to be tougher. So we could have a difference of opinion. You might vote one way, and I might vote another way, and that's okay. We ain't going to argue about it, and I'm not going to knock you out about it, and I'm not going to go protest about it. I'm going to go to the voting booth, and that's where I'm going to make my decision. And nowadays you say the wrong thing to somebody, and they take so much offense to anything and everything you say. And it's nice being an independent because I don't have that. I don't have somebody over me going, you can't say this. My faith with Christ is very important to me, and I can talk about that as much as I want, and nobody can cancel me because my fans know where I stand. They're still going to go listen to my music. They're still going to come out to shows. And I don't have that Nashville machine over the top of me going, you can't say that, because if you do, we'll take away your money, we'll take away your funding, we'll take away. I don't have to worry about that. So there's good in what I do, and then there's the bad in it of the fact that you don't have the big bank, the record label, to back you on things. So you're more
free advertising, all that stuff.
So it's more organic. Everything becomes more organic. And but I found that organically grown music, grassroots music, lasts longer because it's not flash in the pan. If I make a fan, we stay after the shows and we talk to them and we visit with them, and I always sign stuff until there's nobody left. And I've done that my whole life, and I've made friends out of it. where I know these people. They know me. They know my family. They watch my kids grow up. I can say just about anything I want to. And they may not agree with me, which they're allowed to not agree with me. They don't have to. But they're not going to just completely disown me and go, I don't like your music anymore, because they've sat and talked with me just like you and I are sitting talking now. That makes a big difference.
Amen to that. And obviously your daughter, she's very involved in music. What is it like being able to play with her on stage at times?
It's fun, man. It's, you know, when you see your kids, you know, someday you'll have kids and you'll get to see them. And,
knock on wood.
Yeah. And when you see your kids, you know, come out right, they're doing something they love doing. It's proud. You're proud as a parent. A lot of kids don't have that opportunity. They got to go work. They got to go out and make something happen. And my dad worked hard my whole life and was fortunate. He started a business and he did well with it. So that gave my brother and I the opportunity to go chase our dream. My brother became a chiropractor, and I said, well, I don't want to do that, but I like playing music. So I was able to come to Nashville and pursue that dream. And I always told my wife, I said, if we ever get to a place where we're making a living, because we didn't for so long, where we make a decent living, I want the same opportunity for my kids. So to see that happen, all because my mom and dad worked hard, to give my brother and I an opportunity, who then we've worked hard because of that work ethic passed down. Now our kids will have an opportunity. They don't have to go out immediately and get a job. They're going to have to work. But let's give you some time and space to go figure this thing out. You want to pursue music, you're good at it. I'm not going to tell you that you're good at it if you're not, but she is. So go pursue that. See if you can make a go of it. You know, I know a few people, and I can kind of help you out a little bit.
Awesome. And then kind of a couple fireball questions, not fireball shots. Don't worry. I've never made anybody take a shot on the podcast.
I don't drink anymore anyway.
Although I did have a beer at AJ's after I turned 21 a couple months ago, so shout out to AJ's for sponsoring the show. If you ever play at Purdue University or in the Lafayette area, make sure you get something to eat at AJ's. It's amazing. They have non-alcoholic drinks as well, so I'll give you that.
That's great.
So obviously, a couple fireball questions I have. If you didn't name the song E, what other letter of the alphabet would you have named it? What letter?
I don't think it could have another name. That's a good question, but I'm going to have a good answer for you. I don't know.
T for Triton?
Maybe T.
What is one country you would love to perform in?
I think two different ones. I would love to go to Ireland. I've heard a lot of good things about Ireland, and I've got some wild fantasy of going to Australia. I'm fascinated with the Old West. I always have been, and they still have a lot of that culture down there. You know, kind of like they do in the western part of the United States, but they do a lot down there in Australia. And so we made some friends down there via social media. So if I could go to Australia or Ireland, I think.
And then my last fireball question would be, what is something you would do differently if you could go back in time 2 decades ago when you first started?
I would have stayed away from drugs and alcohol. That's what I would have done. It was a party. It was a good time. But it's a lot of detriment. And if I had taken this and understood that what I do is a job, it don't seem like it to a lot of folks on the outside. But this is our work. This is what we do. We've given our life. My bass player, my drummer, and myself, we've given our life to do this. This is how we make a living. So at any job you have, if you go in and take it serious and you work hard, you're going to make a good go of it. But if you go in drunk every day or messed up on something every day, you're probably going to get fired. But the music industry ain't that way. You know, as long as you can stand up for 90 minutes and sing your songs and stumble off stage, you're fine. So if I could go back, that's what I would do different. But yet I don't have regrets. You know, it's given me a lot of songs, and it's made me who I am today. So
amazing. Well, Matt, really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
I appreciate you having me, Matt. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.